Champ Contender Podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Champ Contender Podcast. My name is Joseph J. Jones.
My name is Fabian Collymore.
And we are joined by the very talented Ashaine White.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the pub.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is such a cool space.
It's where my wife knows that I am, basically.
Yeah, I love that.
Shoves me down here.
Good.
That's it. I was first introduced to you and didn't know that I was introduced to you by a friend of mine, David Snedden.
Yeah, I love David.
He's my best writing buddy. Mm-hmm. So everything I write's with Dave. And he was like, I'm working with this girl, Ashaine White. And it's like, okay, like, show me. And he said, she's dead interesting, man. She does this grunge and soul together. And like, that's my Scottish accent. But
it sounds exactly like mine.
It's a little bit higher.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But he was like showing me. And I was saying, well, is this girl signed and stuff? And she's like, no, I think she's just doing it all on her own. Mm-hmm. And then I fully heard you on John Kennedy. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I was driving back from a gig and it was late at night. It must have been past 12 or just coming up to 12, something like that. And all of a sudden you're talking and I was like, she sounds like, your voice even just sound nice. But then all of a sudden you start singing and it's just like, dream coming through the speakers.
Thank you. You're being too nice to me.
No. But the people we get on, innit, are the only the people that we want to, interview and stuff. But for those who don't know anything about you, Ashaine White, tell us what you do and who you are.
Yeah, my name is Ashaine White. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I love music. I love performing live. I started singing when I was kind of since birth, but like as a thing that my mum was like, okay, she can do that. I like 8, taught myself guitar at 14, and I've kind of been doing it ever since. I've been known as the girl who sings my whole life, but didn't really know that I could do it as a career until I was about 18. And as soon as I found out that I could make money from singing in some way, I was like, perfect. I will do that for the rest of my life. So that's what I do now.
Wicked.
I write songs.
So you've been writing songs from the age of 14?
I've been singing and playing guitar from the age of 14. I probably started writing songs seriously at around 18. I kind of said that, I don't know, from a very young age, I've been very aware of how much music is out there. I was really inspired by a lot of like early grime stuff and R&B and bashment. That was what was kind of playing in my house. I had an older brother. He was like, that was what he was into, like battle rapping and freestyle rapping and things like that. And I realized that if I wanted to say something, I had to have something to say. I didn't just want to write songs about, I don't know, working at Nando's, which I did when I was 16, and just like doing nothing. Yeah. So I decided that I would focus on my voice as a craft, and I wanted to be a backing vocalist and a session singer. So I kind of worked through that. I got to like 18 and, I fell in love. I dealt with some stuff in life. I was thinking about moving out of my mum's house and all of these things, like life started happening to me. And I think that's when I started to write songs to kind of deal with that, I guess.
Okay. So how did you develop your unique sound?
I don't know. I've always been a fan of music.
Yeah. Like,
I love music. Like, I love what I do. I think I've been really lucky to not get bogged down too much in the industry side of things and the expectations and the, my mum couldn't afford theatre school training and anything like that. So it was just like, do it for fun, like do it for passion. And I think it took a while for me to understand what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. But I think what I did a lot was just dabble, dip my toes into something and be like, do I feel like myself here?
Yeah.
I've always been a little bit of not really an outcast or a misfit, because I always had friends. I was like in the popular group of girls at school, but my school was majority white students, middle class. I was none of those things.
Yeah.
But it didn't make me feel like an outsider. It was just like, I am an outsider, but that's okay. People accept me anyway. I can just be myself and that's okay. So I've kind of always had that type of mentality. So going around and learning more about the music scene and, the jazz scene and the alt scene and the R&B scene, even though I didn't see myself in those scenes, I was still like, I can still go to the parties, I can still take it in and understand it and then churn it out to something that feels like me. So I think that's kind of how I developed my sound.
Okay.
Well, your sound is, you know, for how you've described it, is grunge soul. And for a lack of a better way of saying this, I'm glad that some, like, an artist can pigeonhole themselves in something like that, because I always find like if you're a singer and you have a voice, you can go down so many different avenues and routes, but it doesn't technically help you. It's great for singing at weddings and pubs and clubs and things like that, because you can sing from the 60s up to the noughties and whatever, and you can give everyone a taster of what they love. But I think when you can, and people say don't pigeonhole yourself, but I think in music it's necessary to do so people understand who you are and people get into what that is. I mean, we were talking a little bit off of camera about jazz. So I am like a full-on, you know, my nan brought me up on it, and I sung jazz like hardcore from the age of like, sounds weird, 14 to 18. Still love it now. Like, who in the jazz world influences you?
I think jazz was a really interesting entry point for me. I was listening to singers like Whitney and Mariah, and obviously they're incredible singers. Like, we can't say they're not. I just didn't see myself in their voices. They were really high. It was like big, long notes. It was like loads of melisma, and I love doing runs and stuff, but it just wasn't my approach. And I was like, there's something I'm missing. There's a darkness, there's a tone, there's a grit that I'm missing from these singers. And actually, I got into Michael Bublé.
Okay.
Because I was, 13, and I'd heard like Home or something, or Just Haven't Met You Yet or something. And I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I like the control he has over his voice. I was always really into male singers more than female singers. I don't know why. There was just something about it that I preferred. Maybe it was me getting to grips with my lower register, which I use a lot now as a singer. And through there, obviously, Michael Bublé sings songs from the Great Songbook. That's what he does. So I was like, oh, okay, well, he's singing, I don't know, Fly Me to the Moon. Who sang that before him, and who did another version. And it was like discovery. It was me being able to, you know, I recently got an iPod and I had LimeWire, and I had, you know, later on I had Spotify, and I could really dive deep, and I got into Nina, and I got into Ella, and I got into Louis, and I got into Sarah Vaughan, and I started to see my type of voice, and also the control that they have over the song is completely different to a Whitney. It's a deep understanding of the instrumentation. It's the being an instrument rather than just being a singer, being a part of the band, and listening to that saxophone and thinking, oh, how can I replicate that sound with my voice? And I think I've always known that my voice is my gift. My voice is my expression. I play guitar, yes, but I'm not a guitarist. I'm a singer who plays guitar to support my voice. It's
so weird talking to you, because it's literally like talking to the mirror or whatever, because it's like, it's not a cool thing to say, but like, the reason I got into jazz was Bublé. Yeah. And it was, come fly with me, let's fly away.
I was like, whoa, stop, what is this? He sounds beautiful. The control that Michael Bublé has over his voice is actually insane. Like, if you know singing and you listen to that man sing, it's incredible. Like, velvet. It's incredible what he can do. It is velvet. And I was like, how can I be velvet? Yeah. Like that. And then when you go deeper, like...
And then when you realise Sinatra's the man, when you realise like Sammy Davis, when you realise Tony Bennett, when you realise all those guys,
unravels, and then you go into different eras of jazz and different subsections of jazz, and you start thinking about the chords that are being used underneath. Like, what is it that creates this tension and this release? And you know, it gives you an education, and that's what I did. That was my textbook. Yeah, part of my textbook. Yeah.
Well, that side of jazz, then, how do you go into the world of, say, grunge? How do you swim towards that?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I always was drawn to things that were darker, things that were grittier, things that were moodier. So I loved grime because I just saw the anger in these kids.
Punk, innit?
they were punks. I loved jungle. I loved all the things that were kind of brought up from like the ground up, the DIY, the punky element of things. And hilariously, when Rihanna did that Good Girl Gone Bad album, and it was like guitars and it was like punky, I was like, whoa, I love this. Like, what is it about this? And Avril Lavigne and like all of these things, I didn't really understand what it was that I loved about it. And then my sister started getting into like pop punk and like alternative music, like Paramore and Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. They were all really big in 2008, 2009, 2010. And we were in secondary school. And I remember I was friends with all the like popular girlies that were listening to like N-dubs and like, which I liked because I saw myself in that in some way. I mean, and Talisa was singing, at least I had something to latch on to. And I turned to my friends at the time and I started singing this Paramore song and I knew all the lyrics. Even though I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Like, why are you listening to my sister? I knew all the lyrics. They were like ingrained in me already. And instead of making that making me feel like an outcast, I was like, oh, I must like this if I know the songs. Like, let me kind of dive deeper into it. So from there, I got down the rabbit hole of Paramore and hearing these guitars and this angst and this like everything that I feel inside being just a Londoner. In this very American way. And then I kind of discovered Tumblr and Arctic Monkeys and the 1975 and all of those things. And to be honest, it wasn't because I didn't grow up on rock music per se. Like Guns N' Roses wasn't being played in my house. Do you know what I mean? Like we were listening to Mariah Carey and Bashment. That was literally what like was happening in my house. MTV bass on like all the time. When I started to discover rock, it was from this like very alternative, new wave, indie, sleazy, rocky aspect, very British. So I think it wasn't until I got to college and I'd started learning guitar, I had to learn songs that were on guitar. So I was learning like Hosier songs and Passenger and like, you know, Arctic Monkeys songs, the softer ones without all the bar chords, like the easy stuff. And then I found Jeff Buckley. And it changed my whole entire life. I was like, how can I put the jazz that I love with this rawness and the guitars but also I want the harmony from the jazz because that makes me feel alive as a singer. I can play and have a good time. And if I want to scat, I can because all the harmony's there. But also I can't play that stuff on guitar yet because I'm not a guitarist, I'm a singer. Jeff Buckley blew my mind. Like I saw it there. He was singing the most soulfully I've ever heard somebody sing over like rock music, but it was so jazzy and it was groovy and he was doing runs and he was playing guitar and he was singing like a guitar and you can really feel his pain through the songs. All
them diminished chords and, you know, like how he sort of, I get exactly what you mean.
Expressiveness. And from there it was like, at the same time I was seeing like Lianne Havas play her guitar on stage. And I was like, oh, black girls can play guitar. Like, I do play guitar. I know I play guitar. But, like, I don't have to, you know, be in this neo-soul world that, like, people were kind of forcing me into because I was a black girl who had a soulful, jazzy voice. And it was like, oh, you must make... And also, to talk about the elephant in the room, I have natural hair. I don't really wear makeup. Like, I'm not your quote-unquote UK black girl. With the bust down and the makeup and the, you know. So people were just like, oh, neo-soul, you go into that box, fit in that box. And I'd stopped playing guitar in college for a bit because all the guitarists were better than me. So I was like, cool, I just sing. I can do that. So it was like Erica, Jill, Scott.
Typical.
And I was like, cool, I love them too. But like the lyrics weren't there for me. I was like, what are they talking about? I don't know. Like I just needed like... I don't know, something more to like inspire.
Something that connects to you, I guess.
Something that, and I think Lianne Havas was the kind of catalyst to be like, oh, it can be neo-soul, but I can play guitar. And then it was like, oh, Jeff, oh, Radiohead, oh, Soundgarden, oh, like Nirvana, oh, and it was just like, oh my gosh, all this stuff. And I sat with that.
See, I've got a theory on this, just quickly, because if I've always found that if you start off in jazz, what you do, you start from basically the beginning of popular music and you go after that, because you're not born then, you have this whole array of music that's out there in front of you. So you start from the beginning, and it's like you're a toddler growing, even though it's a sophisticated toddler to be into jazz, you know what I mean? But you're wandering out there into the jungle of music, and you're going, oh, rock, oh, soul, oh, Motown, oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, oh, alternative music. And then it becomes this whole thing. You've literally started from the bottom, not the bottom of music. I don't mean it in a...
Just from the root, like from the... Yeah, and I feel that, because I think it gave me just a knowledge base, even like, and look, I did not enjoy theory at uni. I didn't enjoy uni whatsoever. I didn't enjoy learning a musical education. I don't think, quote unquote, I don't think it taught me more about music than listening to music did. And starting at that root of those great pop songs, really, that the American Songbook were, it gave me all of the tools I needed to then go out to more genres and find the things in it that kind of felt like that, or reminded me of that. The timeless is timeless. That's what it is.
And that's what it like. All that music is. Sorry, you know what? My mum has rung me on every podcast we've done, and stop ringing me. No, don't.
Big up, mum.
But big up, mums. Yeah, but no, I mean that. I think that's what you've hit on the nail on the head. Really, is that like, if it's timeless music, it's great music. So you listen to it, and you know it fits in any genre. Like I hate, you know, your musicians when they go, "What's your favourite song?" Like someone from the public, or it's like, well, you're licorice all salt, really, you know, because you can't really decipher what it is that you love. Like,
but I also feel the same, like what you mentioned about like the grunge soul thing. I didn't call my music grunge soul. Somebody else called it grunge soul. And it was more just like, I think there's a place for those labels, but I think it's outside of music exploration. I feel like it's when you've written it, and you've got it recorded and it's mixed and it's mastered and the artwork's there, and then you put it out, that is the only time where this is where you put a label on
people
it. Because
label
people need to understand it. Let people label it.
People see what they hear, right?
100%. And that's cool. I'm like, those are my influences. Nailed it. There we go. Let's run with that and try and sell this new idea to people in a way that they might understand it. And, you know, I've had some backlash on that. People are like, where's the grunge? I'm like, well, if you can't hear the grunge, you're not going to hear the grunge. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to hear the grunge. So
you haven't got to scream out, have you? To be it, you know.
Some people think you do have to, because I guess it's also the building blocks of how I understand music. I understand grunge as not only the surface level things like me dyeing my hair blonde and pretending to be Kurt Cobain. That's not grunge to me. Grunge is punk. Grunge is DIY. Grunge is being the alternative. Grunge is dissonance. Grunge is moodiness. Grunge is all of these things that don't necessarily mean I have to rewrite, you know, Dumb or something. I don't have to rewrite a Nirvana song to be grunge. I can be grunge in my own way, in a new way, you know. So yeah, that label has been great for marketing my music on social media. Brilliant. 100%. But I don't bring that into the studio. That's not how I create music at all.
So how do you create music, and who inspires you to write?
I think life inspires me to write, which is a very cliche thing to say, but I like my songs, especially my songwriting, to feel like a conversation with me. I don't want it to feel any different to us having this conversation here. Because the way I write is it's just my life experience on a page, or my viewpoint of life. Normally my songs start on guitar. I work with a producer. His name is Jibby Bettini. I really do think he's the future of music production. I really do. And I'm really, really lucky to be able to develop songs with him, start songs from scratch. We write everything together. It's kind of like Billie Eilish, Phineas type vibe. And we're building this sound from scratch. We just kind of go with... I think what underlines our sessions is just being in the room, getting out of your own way, and not letting labels or boxes or expectations define songs. And they just kind of come together. And
someone who doesn't stop you either. Like,
I
find, I don't know, you know, just from personal experience, when you find that partnership with someone that lets you roll, You know what I mean? When they let you roll, and then, you know, the snowball becomes the mountainous ice block of the sound that you want to create. Like, it's great to find someone like that, because I don't know about you, but I've been in situations where I've been in sessions and they've just killed 2 days where it's like, no, that's not it. And they're just trying to find a hit. And it's like, well, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, trust your gut, you know what I mean? And when someone trusts your gut along with you, but they've got all the capability of pressing all the, you know, buttons and knobs and, doing that, basically making the machine work, it's magic. So what's this guy's name?
Gibby Bettini.
Bettini.
Yeah, he's honestly like, when we met, he's my boyfriend as well as my producer. And when we met, I don't know, it's kind of like he does what the industry should be doing. He develops artists as a producer. He saw me, and I was like, I'm never going to write a song. I don't want to write a song. I'm not playing guitar. I'm being a backing vocalist. And he was like,
Really?
should we get into the studio? And should we write a song?
Wicked.
And we're not going to start this song. He plays every instrument ever, like to the most beautiful degree. Like, it's so amazing. And I was like, okay, cool. I can just come in the studio. I'll sit down. I'll write a couple words. He was like, we're not starting the song until you play something on guitar. We're not going to start until you do the thing that you need to do.
So it's from you.
It
starts from you.
It has to, because it's
your song.
It's my music. And it's our music together, and we have built the world that we build. But yeah, we kind of do all the legwork, it's me and him.
Yeah.
Really.
As an up and coming UK artist, how do you feel the music industry is going at the moment? You know, what's your take on planet, industry, music, you know, whatever, you know, what is your take on it, basically?
I'm really lucky in the way that I've arrived in the music industry. I met Gibby, who's extremely, like, not anti-industry, but he's like, he doesn't care about that stuff. And also, I've come from being a backing vocalist and like a support member of the music industry. So I've been able to see artists do their journeys, and kind of, I call it checking my working out. I get to like be like, I don't know if I would have made that decision. If I'm in that position, I don't think I'm going to make that decision, type of thing. So I was self-managed, releasing music, me and Gibby just by myself, doing all the legwork. And I got kind of thrown into the deep end when I got nominated for an Ivor Novello for the Rising Star in 2022. That was my first EP. And it was like, I arrived at the press day and it was like, you don't have a manager? You don't have a lawyer? You don't have a blah, blah? You don't. And I'm quite an organised person. But I was like, I need a manager. I need a lawyer. I need a this. Like, what if I win this? And what, like, and I let the outside stress me in my process. I was doing, meetings with managers and none of them were right. And I could feel it in my gut and my intuition. So I think the music industry in the future or in the now, the music industry that I am in and I want to be in, is looking positive. I think it's looking artist-led. I think it's looking, everything's a circle and a cycle. And when Kurt Cobain was doing his thing, he changed the music industry. Yeah. The underground came and it rose and they had to wipe their slate completely clean and start again. Inevitably it went downhill and they're just trying to recreate what came. But I think for me, it's like what I want to do in the music industry is surround myself with people that understand my values and my mission. Use social media to my benefit, although it is annoying that you have to post on social media all the time.
You're good at it though.
When you see it work and when you find a way to do it authentically and sustainably for yourself,
run with it.
Run with it. Yeah. And it works. And it really did work for me. And as long as you're making good music, everything else will prevail. Yeah. So I just want to be the best that I can be. I do think things are changing. I think people want to hear real music again. I think they want to hear authentic points of view, unique points of view. They want to buy physical things again. Oh yeah, they want to connect with people again.
Not to get on the Oasis train and stuff like that, but that's why kids are just like they're going back to get something that's so real, right? To have bands again. To like it was funny because when I was talking to our friend about you, it was like she's really doing it all on her own. And like I was very like, this is interesting for me to talk to someone about it because I was probably never brave enough to do that on my own. And now it's a thing where I am doing it solely on my own, you know, and to go through all these labels, like, and then you think, what was the point?
Yeah.
That, you know, they've still got their teeth in the neck, so to speak, through songs that you've released that were yours.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But they sign you up on that stuff. I mean, I feel like it's so like kids are picking up guitars again and starting bands and going out there and writing stuff, and there is a wave of, you know, people that are like you in the sense of I can do it on my own. And you don't need a manager.
No.
You
See,
don't
but
need
even
that
if
stuff.
See, I agree and I disagree, because it is helpful to have those connections, and there is still a gate that needs to be opened. There's gates that are kept in the music industry, and I think I did a podcast with one of my friends, a rapper called Names Bliss, the other day, and he said, as long as you're happening to your music career and your music career isn't happening to you, you'll stay in the driver's seat. Yeah. You know, I got to a point where I think I did need managers, not to like do my day-to-day tasks, but to open doors that I couldn't get in by myself. You know, there are some doors, even post Ivanom, that they wouldn't let me in.
Okay.
Because I was just some little girl making music.
But isn't it funny? Like you could have potentially asked, you know, your boyfriend, so to speak, just pretend you're my manager.
Yeah.
And it would have been like a thing, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I've found, like, in the past, like, people have done stuff similar like that for me.
Yeah.
It's just like a title,
Yeah.
you know. But I get what you're saying, because you can meet managers, and you can meet A&Rs, and you can meet people that are, you know, well respected in these circles, and they can open the next set of doors for you.
And I think, especially in independent artistry,
there
are certain like times that you need a manager. Either like while I was developing myself and I was understanding my sound, and even slightly post either while I was looking for my management and I was waiting for the universe to drop them in my lap. I didn't need a manager. I was booking gigs, I was doing good shows, I was being a nice person, I was making connections, I was writing good music. And all of those things got me to where I was. I got nominated for an Ivor Novello without a manager. So you can do those things. And I think when I hear people saying like, oh, I need a manager to do this. No, you don't. If you want to do it,
you can
get
do
it done.
Yeah.
And you can do it if you really want to do it. But my management have really just helped me. And also my management is unconventional. I brought my managers together. Like I really did. I have two managers. One who's like executive level, knows a lot of people, and the music industry is a people game. Like, don't let anybody tell you that it's not a people game. If you know someone, that can be your go or your stop. Do you know what I mean? Just knowing that one person. So I have an executive level, been in the game a long, long time. That's how I met David. Again, that's a person I wouldn't have met without that connection. And my other manager is my age. We went to school together. He's 28. He's like grinding in the indie scene, works at AIM. Like it's just kind of like understanding the hustle that you need as a young person in the music industry. And I was like, this is what I need to complete me. I'm still my own manager. And they're like, oh, Ash, sometimes, we ask her to do, we go and check on the distributor, and she's already spoken to them. Yeah, because I'm my own manager, and I've got to be.
You've got to be eager as well. You know, it's yours. It's you are your business.
Nobody cares about your music as much as you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's a perfect mix, the three of you.
Oh, 100%. And I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I lacked and what I needed.
Okay.
And luckily, they're the two most amazing people, and they support mine and Jibby's careers and our creative process. And they're supposed to be supportive members of staff.
Yeah.
Supportive people in your career and in your life. And, I think a lot of people get into traps where management are now telling them what to do and how to do it. You should know what to do and how to do it before a manager's even in the question.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they know what's coming. And I think...
Well, hopefully.
I think... but that's why, it's funny because when I mentioned Ashaine to you, like I was like, oh, you need to listen to this girl. She's really good. He become a fan like overnight.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But like we've started this podcast together, and we was like, let's have a little bucket list of people we want. And then you was on mine, and I said, I showed you, and we joined the bucket list together. And you coming on. But like, I mean that. I think they must know what's coming. I can see it.
I hope so.
I can see it. I think I think your potential is as far as you want to take it.
Thank you. And do you know what? I think I want to do this.
Yeah.
I've chosen to do this. So like, I'm going to work bloody hard.
Yeah.
And it better come around because I'm working hard. And like, I'm doing what I think you should do as an artist, like writing good songs and working hard towards your goals. And I think in anything, if I was a receptionist and I wanted to be a CEO, what would I have to do? I'd have to make a plan and I have to go for it. And I have to find the right people to get me to the right places, together as a team. So I'm extremely lucky, but I have worked really, really hard to be where I am. And I will continue to, because I have fun. This is work.
Yeah.
I'm on a podcast. Like, what the hell?
Not work. Well done. It's going to come out. You got to wait and see how it does first. But
one of my favourite songs of yours is "Brace Yourself."
Yeah, thank you.
Is that a message to the industry, to the music industry?
I mean, I didn't write it that way.
Okay.
I think it could be. Really, "Brace Yourself" was about bracing yourself for a big change, for a big jump into something. I wrote it with a girl called Amy, and she was about to go freelance for the first time as a music producer. And I had just gone freelance just before my Ivor nom. And it kind of felt like we were taking this big chance. And, in my career, I have been watching, I've been waiting, I've been thinking about, and like I had the whole COVID time to sit there and really lament on my progress and where I was and what I wanted to say and what I wanted to do. And it was kind of like, all right, I don't know, maybe it's like maybe I'm talking to myself. Maybe I need to brace myself for what I'm going to get myself into by working so hard in the music industry. But I don't think for me it's anything to do with the industry. I feel like I'm kind of, that's why I call myself an alternative artist. I feel like I'm kind of separate from the music industry.
Okay.
Like, I don't care.
You're just doing your thing.
I'm just doing what I love.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, no offense to them, and I wish them all well.
Yeah.
I could not care less about what the music industry wants from me, what they want me to do. And this is why I call my music grunge soul, because like, I'm a punk. I don't care. I don't care what you want me to do. I don't care what you want me to look like, how you want me to portray myself. I could not care less. I'm going to do what makes me happy.
Okay. So do you embrace your vulnerabilities in your songs? Yeah. And do you feel that fine, like to let that out to the world?
I think so, yeah.
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 No problem.
I feel like they're kind of things that I've like thought about, and I've like, I'm allowing to let go. It's like I've written it down now.
Okay.
And off it can go into the world. And I never really like to tell people what to think about my songs or what they're about, or, this is how, I can't tell people how to feel.
Do you feel that's like a bit of therapy for yourself, letting it off?
I think
letting
so.
it out on the sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do think so. I think it's just a way to voice how I'm feeling, which is, I do think going to therapy is very important though. And I wouldn't call it my only therapy. I think it's important to actually speak about your feelings. And in a song like Hotel, at the beginning of a song, I'm being so bratty, which is how I felt at the time, in those moments. And I think that song and songs in general is for me to look back on how I was feeling and how I'm feeling now.
At that time.
And have that like full circle realization moment, which Hotel is for me. It's like back then I was feeling angsty and I needed to get out of there because it was the worst thing ever. But now I'm realizing that my mum just wanted to keep me at home because I was a baby and I was young, and she wanted to keep me her baby as long as possible. And maybe I need to like take a chill pill,
Yeah.
So I think it's just trying to be self-aware, I think. Mm-hmm. And I can, my songs allow me to do that, I think.
Have you ever found when you've written a song, you've almost written the future. Like, is there a song? I can only describe it like, again, I don't want to make this but I'm saying songs I've written, sort of, I don't even understand, and then all of a sudden the situation will happen in the future, and I'll be like, oh right, that's what that's about. I don't know if you've ever experienced that sort of in your writing.
Oh, do you know what? I'm not sure I have, but I think having hindsight, now I have quite a few songs out. I've been releasing for like 3-4 years, and I think I have like I'll have a new EP in the new year, and I'll have like 20 songs out. So being able to go back to like one of the first songs I wrote and read my lyrics back then, I think more it's like that checking my working out thing. It's like going back to some of my songs before I played guitar, of my songs, and being like, oh, this is the fetus version of Ash. Like, this is where I see where she was going. Do you know what I mean? And having those projects out and being able to see kind of my life as a songwriter play out so far is so fun. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything.
It's an odd question.
Yeah, I don't think I predicted.
An odd question.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah, it's almost like sometimes songs can become different meanings in the future or whatever, and you think like, I don't know. I just know there's a few artists that I talk to and respect and whatever, and I was like, didn't know what was writing at the time, and then it becomes something else, and I was just wondering. I
think I do write very much from the present.
Yeah.
I've never been like a fantasy girly. Do you know what I mean? I've never really thought outside of how I'm feeling now. So I feel like my songs are very relevant to what I have gone through, like I am going through or have just gone through. They're like stages. So I feel like they're more reminiscent of the time I'm in.
Yeah.
So when I think as I get down the line, and you know, I'm on my 4th, 5th album, I'll look back and it will be like a diary entry, like, you know, oh wow, I was bracing myself that time, like, and I get it and I feel it and I understand from my 27-year-old perspective how I was feeling then. And that's what makes me excited to keep singing these songs for the rest of my career, because hopefully it will just like transport me and give me that own sense of nostalgia that I think everybody searches for in music, but I can give that to myself by just making sure my writing is relevant to how I'm feeling now, I think.
Do you ever look back on some of those old songs and think, ugh?
Do you know what? No.
Yeah, that's good.
No.
That's brilliant.
I think because it's a stepping stone. It's just a little stepping stone. And when the other day, actually, hilariously, my first ever song that I released was called Inhale, Exhale. And I remember being like, I was really proud of those lyrics back then. And I looked back at them and I was like, do you know what? I get it. Yeah, I get where I was going. Like, yeah, it's a bit, it's young.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's a bit lofty, but I get it. And there was a story there. And it was kind of like the baby steps to me
being you now,
finding, you know, my angle of storytelling.
Yeah.
I used to write songs a lot from like not the third person. Is it the third person? It's very like he and she instead of me, you, I.
Okay.
Which I found really interesting. When I didn't really have anything to say, I was like, I actually used to write songs about Amy Winehouse.
Oh, wicked.
Because I would always be like, gosh, she must have been having a hard time. Let me see what I can like, because I'm I felt like I was fine.
Yeah.
Because I was just a teenager, and it was just like, oh, it is what it is. Like, and that's very me. I'm very like, yeah, I'm in pain. It will be fine. And then tomorrow I'll feel a little bit better. And the next day I'll feel a little bit better. Like, I don't really like, you know, so it was, yeah, a lot of those early songs are like, oh,
again, with Amy there, again, from the jazz, and then goes and then finds her way.
Yeah.
Like, I really believe with people that start from jazz, they really have this voice. I don't know what it's like, because they know about, you know, the Billie Holidays and the Chet Bakers and like that. Well, Chet is just the sadness in just the story alone is just.
But you can hear it through him. Do you know whose voice absolutely floored me? Donny Hathaway.
Oh mate, Donny Hathaway.
That man, you can like feel the pain.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what I think a lot of people miss this about Amy. she was a true lover of music. And it wasn't like, because I used to teach singing and people would say, I would say, who's your favourite singer? They say Amy Winehouse. I was like, okay, cool, you love jazz then. Who's your favourite jazz singer from back in the day? They would have no idea.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know. It's just like what Amy did to get to where she was hardcore research and hardcore love of real voices and real stories and the art of telling the story. And I feel like, unfortunately, what has happened as Amy's legacy has gone on is kind of stopped at Amy. And people are like, oh, I like, I don't know, another type, Georgia Smith. I love Amy. And then it's like, but what did Amy love?
Yeah.
Like, and what did Donnie love? And what did Ella love? And like, let's go back. And I always used to say that as a singing teacher. It's just like, okay, her is your favourite artist. Who does her love? She loves Prince. Why does she love Prince? Who did Prince love? Little Richard. Who, like, let's go back. Let's do the education in music that music needs. So, yeah, I do feel like jazz has, I think the thing about it, my phone's ringing, sorry.
It's all right.
Ringing phone is a very...
It's all right, don't worry about it.
And then I'll just chop.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Hello, sorry, I'm just doing a podcast and I want to call you really quickly. Are you driving?
This is real, I love it.
Oh, okay. You're at home still. I thought you were seeing Alex Isley tonight. Okay, cool. Are you free this evening? Okay, cool. Okay, bye. Bye. Ah, he's great. Put him on the way thinking, oh, hopefully he'll just pick up the phone quickly. I have a really 5-second conversation to have with him. I'm
going to keep that in. I think it's cool. I feel like that with Ed Sheeran though. People always go, oh, I love Ed Sheeran. And then it's like, okay. And then they don't ever go anywhere else. They're just like all sort of carbon copies of Ed, you know.
Well, I feel I feel the same with Amy.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, be inspired, but try not to imitate.
Yeah.
And imitation is a part of inspiring.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like 100% I was singing in harmony to every Michael Bublé song. Like I would know all his runs, everything, but it wasn't like, I knew I couldn't sing like Michael Bublé. I'm not Michael Bublé, so what am I going to do? But I think a lot of the time it's like, okay, I love Amy Winehouse, so let me sing like Amy Winehouse. It's like, no, take the bits that you like and mix them with the bits that are yourself.
Do you know what? I just want to have like a little jazz off, like in the pub one night and just like come
That'd
over,
be so fun.
listen to jazz.
Oh, that would be so. I would love that. That would be so much fun. I think that's a thing that we have missed. The world is so insular now.
Yeah.
And I've always got headphones on, like every second of every day, and I'm listening to music by myself. It's like the magic of what Amy used to do is listen to music with her nan and with her dad, like with people. So that's what it's about. It's communication. It's like understanding. It's, you know, us having a favourite song and being like, well, no, that song's not about love to me. That's about hatred. Like, but well, wait, I thought it was about love, and having those conversations. So I'm a real fan of music. Like, I'm not just doing this for nothing. This is why I love music. It's like,
do you feel people magical. On that note, sorry to interrupt, but on that note, do you think there are people that go on these shows and they're just chances, you know, like you've got a good voice, Bill, go on The Voice, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden he goes on, becomes the next Ollie Murs, you know what I mean? Like, fair play to Ollie, whatever, you've earned a pretty pound, I don't really care, not into your music, but you've done well
I love that for you, like,
But there's a real thing of, I just want to see the real artists again. Like just the proper artists, you know. I feel like we had a real little moment of it in the noughties when you got, I remember for the first time ever seeing Arctic Monkeys just...
Oh my God, I love the Arctic Monkeys.
Well, just when they hit the TV, I bet you look good on the dance floor, and then all of a sudden, bang, they just play it as a punk band. And then this is on the box, right? So on the box, you've got like R. Kelly, or not R. Kelly, what's his, no more.
Rewind that one.
Rewind. You've got people like Nelly, you've got people like, I don't know, just these R&B guys. And all of a sudden, Arctic Monkeys just went, you know, we're back to punk. We're back to being raw again. And for me, because it was, I used to have, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I used to get like PTSD when I used to hear all them songs that were like R&B, just because of maybe it was all the Essex girls playing it in my school, and it was just made me feel sick in the end. But as soon as Arctic Monkeys hit, you know, it was like, oh, I've got a place now.
Yeah.
But like I feel wanted. Like that's me. That's me. Oh, I can wear a Fred Perry top. You know, I can do my hair like a bit of a mod, or you know, not anymore. But I feel. I suppose what I'm saying. There's the rise of that again. I hope it comes.
Yeah.
And it's artists like you that just need to like push it.
Well, honestly, it's all I can do. I can't do anything other than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I literally, my skin starts to crawl. My smile is gone from my face.
Yeah.
You will really feel it when I'm in a position that I don't feel like I should be in, or I don't want to be in. And I think, do you know what? I think I do think that stuff is coming back. And it's in the independent sphere. Like it is there. I know loads of people that are doing really cool stuff.
Really?
Like really cool things. And what I think the biggest change in the music industry is going to be, and I think it's going to be the separation.
Yeah.
It's going to be, everyone's terrified of AI. I'm not terrified. I'm not.
We were going to say about this.
I am not terrified of AI.
Right, okay.
Because AI is not going to make my music. Like it's actually not going to make it, because it's soulful music. It's a real life experience and emotion and connection. And there is no robot that can make those things. There actually isn't. Like,
No.
I think that's fact. Like, so for library music, I would be terrified. Because if I'm just using splice sample number 1, so can the AI. But for a person to sit in a room and play an instrument and sing like Donny Hathaway, I'm not scared of that. So I think the music industry is going to separate. You're going to find there'll be pockets of people that make music that really have that connection at the forefront and is real and is raw and is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that's the side I will continue to be on. And there'll be the side of the music industry that's for consumerism.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Fast
We were
food
going to ask
music.
that question.
Well,
Yeah, we were going to ask that, weren't we?
Can I roll with that?
Yeah, roll with it. Go with it.
Because, I mean, there was it come out ISIS, didn't it? Where the guy had written what he wanted to be the next Oasis album.
Right.
But back then. So he wrote all the chords, and then went into a computer and went, make Liam's voice on that, and the band sound like Oasis. And it sounded amazing, right? It sounded great, but you know it's a robot. So I'm going to ask you a question, right? So if you were, because you know, you're not going to let someone sing for your voice or anything like that, but let's just say Ashaine White, you know, takes the world a storm, which you're going to be. You're going to. And all of a sudden, the next pop stars are AI stars, and someone goes, you know, I want you to write an album for an AI bot. Would you do it?
Interesting. No.
Okay.
That sounds boring.
Yeah.
Like it does not sound like I would rather sing 25 weddings back to back than write an album for somebody I don't believe in, something I don't believe in. Honestly, like really and truly, honestly. And if I was to write that AI album, they would hate it. Because it just wouldn't be what they want it to be. You know, I don't even like the sound of my voice with like Melodyne on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Let alone auto-tune, let alone writing a whole like AI album. Like it's just not how I vibrate with music.
No.
And I would love to help them find the person that would really, really enjoy that. And
So you're willing to help?
Well, if there's a person whose dream it is to write music for AI artists, then go ahead. Like, I love that for you.
In your industry as well?
I don't think the people in my circle would want that.
Okay.
But I choose the people I hang around with for that reason.
Yeah.
They align with how I feel about music. But there are people in the world that I know and that I'm friends with that would probably love to do that. I think go where you're happy, go where you're seen, go where you're loved, go where... I never want music to be a job or a chore for me.
Yeah.
Because this is where I find my joy. This is me. So if you take away everything that is me, there will be nothing left. So if I go down, if I even take... I honestly do think this is going to sound like a very big statement, but I think if you take one step in the wrong direction, you'll end up in the wilderness.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I work to make sure I take all my steps in the right direction so I end up where I want to be. I want to do this when I'm 85 years old. Like, I want to be world touring, Bob Dylan style. Like, everyone's like, she all right for this next show? And I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm on.
Bless
like,
Frankie Valli.
Yeah, do you want to hear Brace Yourself? Yeah, like, that's how I want to be. And I can't be doing that, hating what I'm singing.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Because I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, you wouldn't believe me.
Would you write with other real artists? Yeah. Have you
done.
ever done that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have done. Yeah. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. It's fun. It's a good exercise. Again, it's like checking my working out. It's like understanding what my voice is for me and how my voice can help somebody else. I think my thing is that I just want people, I want to exist so dramatically as myself that it forces other people to do the same. Like, act as their self. I want to just make sure that they're being the most authentic version of them. So I think that's my job in the room as a writer. How would you say this? Like, we're writing a song about a breakup. Have you actually broken up with someone? No, I've been in a long-term relationship and I'm really in love. Okay, maybe we should write about that then.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we should write about your actual experience rather than some, make-a-wish idea.
It's the thing, like, people take for granted, I think, in writing, like, the way you just talk about things, like the words that naturally fall out, especially being like a man who's full of East End slang words and stuff like that. Like I said the other day, well, not the other day, like years ago to my wife, if I could, I'd marry you, darling, but I ain't got the money, so I can't right now.
Well,
and all of
put
a sudden,
that in a song.
I did.
Yeah.
And then it's like this thing of like, oh, right, then this is what writers, if you're a good writer, you pick out something and you go, okay, you've just said the truth. Just say that.
Say it.
You know what I mean? And just write that way. Going on writing, and you've got this amazing EP out. I
do.
Cause for Concerns.
Thank you.
So what does it mean to you, that album?
I think Cause for Concern kind of felt like, it's kind of a warning. It was like, I'm a bit dramatic. And it was kind of like, I'm on the edge, I think, of all of this. I just want to be myself. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I think it was kind of my inner child, like as a 27-year-old. And I think COVID was a lot for this. I went into COVID at 22 and I came out 25. And I think that's a big chunk of my early 20s.
It is, isn't it?
To sit inside. So I think there's a lot of like angst that I was actually able to deal with because I wasn't out getting faced every night, which I should have been, and discovering who I was in the London scene, but I couldn't because I was at home. So I feel like it kind of accelerated my ability to reflect on who I am and who I wanted to be. And I feel like a lot of these songs on Cause for Concern is me kind of in Ash, my second EP was a lot about my experience of love. I was experiencing love for the first time romantically. I've had really long platonic relationships and I wanted to talk about how important those were to me. And I feel like Cause for Concern was about kind of the opposite, the antithesis. It was like me understanding the like melancholy and the angst and the hardship and being like, I'm going to talk about all of this stuff, like all the stuff that just pisses me off, you know, and all the things about the world that I feel like needs to be kind of spoken about through my own lens. So that's kind of Cause for Concern, and it kind of goes on that journey of me being a voyeur of other people's situations and my own situation, and putting it all into songs.
Okay, so this was all written during COVID?
No, this was written, oh goodness, we wrote Cause for Concern. I think we started in 2022.
Okay.
So I released my first EP in 2021, got nominated for my Ivor in 2022, released Ash late 2022 or June 2022, and then we got writing straight away, and we got this EP out in July. So yeah, we're trying to get songs out.
You put in work.
Yeah, man. I'm a songwriter. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
That's literally my job. So yeah, we've actually got another EP ready for the new year.
What's your favourite song of yours?
My favourite song of mine? What, on Cause for Concern?
Anything. What would you, who, for people to listen to a song of yours who never heard you, say, there you go, checkmate, listen to that. You're into Ashaine.
It's so interesting. I think there's different little pockets of Ashaine White land.
Who would you show you?
Who would I show me? What would I show me?
You never heard it. You're going to go back to yourself and you're going to say, look at this.
I think it could be White Flag.
Right. That's my favourite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It could be White Flag, but it also could be something like All My Wrongs or Lock and Key or Favourite Thing, which are all kind of like, or even like on my first EP, Cookie Cutter. I feel like there were, in each EP, there was like a...
I love that title, Cookie Cutter.
Yeah, I was really proud of it. Like that song kind of was a catalyst to the next and the next. It was like, this song I think is going to change something. I don't know what it is, but it felt like it was going to do something. And what it did was make me understand a bit more of my approach to songwriting. Like I started that song on guitar and it was about the world that we lived in. It was all about people wanting to be famous and be this cookie cutter version of these people, but that nobody's looking at the fact that a lot of these cookie cutter people that they want to be a part of are having the worst time ever. And you know, the suicide rate of artists is crazy, and like the cyberbullying is out of hand, and you just want to go on Love Island. Like, or you want to be the next Kurt Cobain. He had a horrible time.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of things they didn't deal with before being who he was. And that was a part of who he was. And I wanted to write about that. And I think the next project, there was Favourite Thing. And it was a catalyst. And it was like, this is how I write about love. Like, I figured it out. Because I didn't want to write about love before. I thought it was corny.
Yeah.
This is how I write about love. And that whole EP was like me figuring out how I write about love. And Cause for Concern, White Flag was the first song we wrote for that EP, without even knowing that it was going to be an EP. And it was like, this is how I kind of mesh the grit of alt rock with the soulfulness of Ashaine White and who I am, and how I be tongue in cheek and how I be funny in my songs. And yeah.
I love those elements in songs when you, like, especially now, like having those tongue in cheek. I mean, Alex Turner's amazing.
Oh, I love him. His songwriting is like, is what I think as one of the first people that I heard write songs. And I think when I was younger, I was listening to it being like, just being, and also I got into them, I saw them live. That was like one of my first concerts I ever went to.
Yeah.
At the O2, and it was Suck It and See era. So it was like wicked. A bit, but I knew all the stuff from before. I listened to Mardy Bum on the way, driving somewhere, and I was like, this is lyricism. Like, this guy is really writing.
I'd love to hear you do a version of that, actually.
I would love to hear me do a version of that. I need to hear, yeah, I think it would be so fun. Like, his way with words, but it's also very personal to him.
Yeah.
I couldn't write like Alex Turner.
But he's like, you know, just like spitting stuff here. Like he is the voice of like a nation, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, that sort of writing, and I think Mike Skinner's one of those as well. Like for me, I love Mike Skinner. He's like lyricist god to me, because it's just so to the T. And I mean, I've got an accent like dirt anyway, but it feels very regional to me.
Yeah.
And so does Alex Turner. And I think when you can touch on something lyrically that speaks to everyone, but especially the minors, you know, it's like you got a recipe for disaster, but not disaster. You got a recipe for something great.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got a game.
I love games.
It's called Shotstopper, and you're obviously not drinking.
Yeah, I'm driving.
I know. So
I'll do a shot of water or something.
That's
Come on.
okay. We'll
Lemon juice? I don't know.
This limoncello is just 50-50 apparently,
Okay.
but we won't do that. I'll do your shot for you if you can't decide. So we've gone off the basis, but this is what you do. We will say two people, so two artists. You have to pick one.
Okay.
Then that artist goes up against the next artist. But if you can't pick between them, it's a shot.
Okay.
Right?
For him.
But for me now,
Okay.
because we don't condone drink driving, and you have a gig later
Yeah,
as
I
well.
do, yeah.
Like, you do not want to go on stage like I was going to say a really
might
drunk
make my
artist,
guitar,
then, but that would have been insensitive, right? So here we go. This is called Shotstopper, Grunge versus Soul.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Okay, do you want to start us off?
Now you go.
Okay. Aretha Franklin or Kurt Cobain?
Kurt.
Why?
Because he's just so bloody angry.
Okay.
And I love that about him. I love Aretha. Her songs are hard to sing.
Okay, good answer.
Kurt Cobain or Sam Cooke?
Ah!
Oh no, you're going to get me drunk.
She can't pick.
Oh, do you know what? My intuition is saying Sam Cooke. I feel like people don't know how much of a punk Sam Cooke was. He was incredible. He was making all of those white girls and on the other side of the radio fancy him so much.
Yeah.
And it was like race relations period.
Yeah.
He started the first black independent record label. And he owned all his masters. He made all his money. And he was at the top of the pop charts and the crossover pop charts. He was the catalyst to Motown and the catalyst to Def Jam. And
Class.
I think he's just one of the most incredible, and he did it all with such steez. Like, are you actually kidding me? There was so much steez in that man. So I think I'm going Sam Cooke. Sorry, Kurt.
I think Sam Cooke's going to be hard
To
to
be
beat.
hard to beat. He's amazing.
Okay, so Sam Cooke or Chris Cornell of Soundgarden?
Sam Cooke. Sorry, Chris.
Okay, you've explained.
Sam Cooke or Shaka Khan?
Oh, Shaka's so cool.
She's thinking 5.
No, don't count down. Sam. It's Sam.
Okay, thank God for that.
It's Sam. Oh, God.
I'm trying to get him drunk. He's
Yeah,
at home, innit?
sorry. I'm
All
like,
right. Yeah, I think
He's at home.
I think I'm going to end up. Yeah, I know I'm at home, but it's Monday, man. I think I'm going to end up doing a shot for this one. So Sam Cooke or Jeff Buckley?
do a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd make me choose between those two.
God. Okay, I'm going to do this. This one is all right. This one, I don't even know what it is. It's not
What is
lemon.
it?
It's not limoncello.
It looks delicious.
It's in a lovely bottle, though.
No, it is.
I'm not going to chuck this bottle either. I'm going to.
No, keep it. Fill it
I'll
up.
do that. Yeah, because it is Monday, right? Chin
Cheers.
chin, cheers,
Cheers.
Ashaine. It's meant for your liver, not mine. Okay.
What is it?
It's
Lemony.
like a lemon liqueur.
Oh, nice. Delish.
Yeah. Right, you go.
Right, where we at?
So who do I run with now?
So you got to start from fresh.
Okay.
So now it's Lauryn Hill or Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder.
From Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I don't know if I can put this on a podcast. No, I can, but people are going to come for me. I don't like Lauryn Hill that much.
Wow. That disappoint you.
Disappointed
I'm
me.
sorry. And I've had a lot of arguments about it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It just didn't resonate with me.
Why?
I'm going to get absolutely...
No, you ain't. Say what you like.
Well, no, I stand by my opinions.
Yeah.
I just think it's a bit moany.
Okay.
And I actually think it was a bit like... I don't know. It just didn't hit me
It's your
in my
opinion.
soul and my like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do doo-wop on a daily. You know, I understand it.
Yeah.
And I can respect it. But I don't know if I ride or die for Lauryn Hill as much as some others do.
Yeah.
What is your argument?
No, I've got no argument. I just wanted to hear you.
No, I want to hear what you
But
think.
why do you love Lauryn Hill?
Just love the music. I just love everything from her. Like the soul, the voice is just like. I think it wasn't even the first album. I think it was Sister Act.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't watch movies.
When I heard her in that, I was like,
Joyful, joy.
Yeah.
But even the other girl in that, when she was on the piano, was it Iron Sparrow?
Sure.
Do you know she got absolutely booed out of the Apollo, didn't she, when she was a kid?
Who?
Lauryn Hill.
Is it?
When she was like 14, the crowd just absolutely booed her.
Sometimes it helps.
Listen, I think she's got an amazing voice, man.
Yeah.
I've never been like, you know, I like the Fugees and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it was like, I could hear her sing the alphabet, not so much into her songs.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I think the voice
is
great.
her voice has never resonated with me that much.
That's fine.
I think it's the rap sing.
Well, I like rap. Like,
Yeah.
I really like, you know, Kendrick.
Yeah.
Kendrick's
like
the
one of-
David
he's
Bowie
amazing.
of that to me.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and I love grime.
Yeah. Who is your grime guy?
Kano.
Oh,
yes.
I think it's Kano, and I also really like Gets. Like, but
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is about it. I really don't know what it is about it, but I've tried. And I was like, no, I have to get into this album because, and this was me in college, like exploring and like getting into Erica and D'Angelo and like the wormhole I went down with D'Angelo was just like, oh, there's something about this guy. I love him. Everything about him. I love him. And I listened to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and I was like,
yeah.
What do you think of Jaheim?
yeah, I like Jaheim.
Okay,
Yeah.
just average.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't do what D'Angelo did to me.
Yeah.
Do you know who I really like? Maxwell.
Okay, yeah.
And I really liked the later albums of him
Okay,
and Miguel and
Yes.
Frank Ocean. I was more on.
Yeah.
that vibe.
I like Frank Ocean, like Novocaine.
It was amazing, yeah.
And when he had the Ultra
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia out, like Swim Good and all that, like it was so. But that album, not many people get to listen to that because you had to download that. I remember being on a PC. I remember being on like MSN and my mate messaging me saying, "Go and download Frank Ocean," and you did it for the Weeknd's early stuff as well.
yeah.
You downloaded it, you kept it. I had it. People were buying like your iPods back then for that amount of money if you had it, right?
Yeah.
I done the thing of going around my mate's house to charge my iPod up and I lost all my music, everything. Couldn't get it back for love nor money. It downloaded like him, like he loved Frankie Valli for whatever reason. And I just had like Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons left on my iPod.
I'm pretty sure I have an iPod with Nostalgia Ultra on it at my house, but I don't think it works anymore. Like I think I tried to charge it. And
Yeah.
it didn't work.
Right, here we go, really. So
Sorry, we went
so
off
you're going
So
Eddie
I
Vedder?
have to go Eddie Vedder. I mean, I don't really like Pearl Jam that much, but they had a couple bangers. Yeah.
Oh, well, I know you're gonna go for ready. So Eddie Vedder or Prince?
Prince.
Why?
Because he's Prince.
Yeah, because
He's
Prince.
the OG.
I always think Prince is the David Bowie, like of the black community.
Sure.
I think he is David Bowie. I remember watching a documentary years ago, and especially in Chicago and places like that, they were like, "Thank God we've finally got someone as freaky as Bowie because we love that music too." Do you know what I mean? And it was such a step for an artist like that to come out and do that stuff. But what a guitarist, man!
I mean, everything. Like, everything.
Yeah.
Like, and also the fact that he produced all his own stuff and he, you know, had he was working hard. He was writing songs for always. Like, he's just embodied what a musician should be, I think.
Miles Davis said, which is jazz. Miles Davis was like, he's a mix between Charlie Chaplin and Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, wow. That's
With a
so
voice.
what a
It's
cool
like-
thing to be.
He was like, how do you fuck with that?
Yeah.
I was like,
You can't. You can't. And
Yeah.
he was who he was and he did not care. And I just love everything about him. Yeah.
Here we go with Prince or Marvin Gaye.
I do love Marvin, but it's Prince.
Okay, so Prince or Matthew Bellamy of Muse.
Oh, I love Muse. It's Prince, but I do really love Muse,
Okay.
and they're cool. They were a bit more on the like theatrical side of things. But when they did the cover of what the frick is it called? It's a new dawn, it's a new day. What's the name of that song? Feeling Good.
Birds flying high.
I was like, what is this? I was like, I love that. I love that it's rocky but it's jazz. That's kind of what I ended up doing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because it's funny. He's not grunge, but it's similar tones and chords and stuff. That's
But
why.
the voice is very. I think the voice for me in grunge, like they weren't like Kurt wasn't singing.
Yeah.
He was singing, but he wasn't like singing. So when I heard Jeff for the first time and he's singing down the house, I think Muse is a bit similar to that. And like things like Panic at Disco and Fall Out Boy, they had these really, and Paramore, they had these really soulful singers on top of the rock and the heaviness of the guitar. So I think, which is probably why I wasn't really into like Pearl Jam as much. I think the thing was with Nirvana was that the melodies and the songwriting was just like blew my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we got Prince or Courtney Love.
Courtney. I really do love some whole songs. It's still Prince.
Okay.
But yeah.
Right. This one might stump you. This one might stump you. So
Okay.
Prince or Stevie Wonder.
Ah!
Oh no. Gonna do another shot.
Do you know what? I think it's Prince.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you saved me
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I did save you. But obviously Stevie. You can't chat anything about Stevie, but I think it's Prince for the fact that he's just a punk.
Okay.
Prince or Alicia Keys.
Prince.
Okay. All right.
It's an easy one.
Prince or Lane Staley of Alice in Chains.
It's Prince.
Okay. We're gonna have
It's
a whitewash
easy,
now.
yeah.
I think so.
It's
Prince or
Prince,
Tom
you-
York.
Ah!
Oh,
That's the
you look
one.
stressed.
Oh my gosh.
Prince or Tom York, everybody.
5.
Stop counting down. It's me drinking, man.
I think you're going to have to do a shot. Only because I don't think... Like, I can't... I love Tom York. I love Radiohead so much. And they did the same thing that Jeff Buckley did to me. They changed my whole perspective.
Yeah.
But I cannot not put respect on Prince's name. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Tom York would agree with me. Sorry, Tom.
Right. Cheers again.
I'm sure you like drinking.
I love drinking. I think it's great. I think, do you know what? This is a great one. Right, here we go. So it's going to be Gladys Knight or Chester Bennington of Linkin Park.
I really like Linkin Park. Gladys Knight.
On that midnight train.
Yeah. That's a big tune.
Yeah. Gladys and the Pips, man.
Yeah. That is a big tune. I think I'm going to go Linkin Park.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. And maybe I'll regret that later. But
No, you got
Hybrid Theory, I think, is a really important album. And Numb was a really important song for me.
Yeah.
And also it was they were adopted by the hip hop community, like so heavy. And I loved that. Like, I think it kind of underlines everything I do, like to choose Linkin Park because it's the fusing, it's the new sound, they were a wave post Nirvana of this new sound.
Okay.
So-
What did Numb do for you?
It just got me into like slightly heavier guitars, I think.
Okay.
And it was a song that would come on like VH1 and MTV Bass, and I was just kind of like,
It's on both.
yeah. So it kind of just like, I think opened my eyes to, and I was young when that song came out, so I think it just opened my eyes a bit more to the alternative scene. I feel like the universe was telling me, and also everything Jay-Z was kind of working on at the time was kind of getting rockier. And I really liked it, and I think it just helped push me to where I needed to be to discover a part of myself musically, I think.
Okay. Linkin Park or Whitney Houston?
Oh.
Say that one, by the way. Leave that.
Why?
Well, I can.
Yeah,
I
do
can the next one, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Whitney, aren't I? She's Whitney.
Whitney, I knew he was going to do it because Whitney's just, this is not going to be, it might be a comparison. So, Whitney Houston or Billy Corgan or Smashing Pumpkins?
I do really like Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I really do. But I think it's still Whitney.
Right.
But again, you have to put some respect on her name, don't you?
So, Whitney's sort of the winner from there down.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do.
You couldn't decide from Jeff Buckley and
Sam Cooke.
And Sam Cooke, sorry. And then, what was the other one? Tom York and Prince. So,
I've got to decide out of all of them.
Yeah.
who's the one artist now out of all of them? So, we're going Sam Cooke, we're going Jeff Buckley, we're going Prince, we're going... where am I going?
Whitney.
And Tom York. Who are you working with?
Who am I working with?
Collaborating
with.
Anyway, anything you want.
I can only choose one. What? I think it's Tom York.
Ah, right. So Tom York. I'm getting Tom York wins it.
Yeah, he wins it.
Okay, so that was your Shotstopper, Grunge versus Soul.
Oh gosh. So did Grunge win? Kind of.
Right. Yeah.
Grunge won.
Grunge won.
What?
Yeah. So okay, so just for everybody out there, just tell us where we can find you on socials.
Yeah, you can find me on socials at Ashaine White, ASHAINE, white like the colour. I'm literally Ashaine White on everywhere, so you can just Google me. I pop up. Mum did a good job. Thanks, Mum. Always big up, Mum. I'm doing a headline show at Colours, Hoxton, on the 23rd of November. And I'm trying to sell it out, so buy a ticket, even if it's just to appease me. But come as well, 'cause that'd be fun. Yeah, I've got a single also coming out in November. So get ready for that.
Okay, wicked. Well, thanks for talking to us.
No, thanks for having me. This was so fun.
We are now... The bar is shut, but... Because it's last orders, Ashaine White is going to do a little song for us.
Yeah.
So we both love Hotel.
Do you actually? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what I was going to play.
Oh, right, wicked. Okay, yeah. So if you wouldn't mind doing Hotel for us.
Of course. I would love to.
All right, wicked. So this is Ashaine White with Hotel, guys.
Okay. I treats his house like a hotel. If I did, then I'd be in it by myself. No need to define the terms or ask permission, oh, just to get no. So if you say so, if you say so, I'll stay home. Ash treats this house like a hotel, and when she does, I'm left here by myself. Nothing lasts forever, but can I just have some time? I know you need to grow, but if I say so, if I say so, could you stay home?
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ashaine White, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
That was incredible. Oh, man. Just made the day.
Incredible.
Just made the day. Made the Monday a better day. You've been listening to the Champ Contender Podcast. Over and out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.